they're acting in bad faith and they're not willing to have an ear to us. So that is why we decided now we have to look for justice. Currently, there are over 30 circles that operate now, and we are recruiting more so that we can have our issues addressed. Apparently, government issues, they are really giving us a deaf ears on our issues.
The number of investors from the Sacco, how many?
In terms of investors, we cannot, because apparently what happens, an investor buys a vehicle and subscribes to a circle. So you see there are circles that have several fleet of vehicles. For instance, to give an example, like Super Metro has a fleet of 700. So in that we can have a population of around 400 investors in that one circle. So you can calculate other circles because the numbers of vehicles that we have has been they are up around 28,000.
Next. Simama hapo, mwenye mwingine alikuwa amesimama. Angalia kamera. Check the cameras.
Na kulingana na ile operation NTSA, mimi kama first of all, kwanza gari sio yangu, tunashirikiana na banki kwa hiyo gari, na kulingana vile tunaenda, so far sasa gari yangu ni KBS imesimama almost ni 1 month, na mwisho wa mwezi hii bank wanataka kujua kama kwa operation na kujua wanataka pesa zao kama, na that's why ni kwa sana na tunashirikiana kwa kotini na kutafuta njia nyingine ya kufanya kazi.
I have a question for the investor.
Yes.
As an investor, what made you be more interested in investing in the Nganya Association rather than other PSE associations?
Nimekuwa kwa biashara matatu kutoka 2007 na ilianza kama na nimekuwa kwa industry, so najua ukitaka kufanya hii biashara lazima utaangalia mali unaweka pesa yako na si kuinvest. Yeah. Na katika sekta matatu kuna all sort of matatu, but kwa Nganya ni lazima unapoke kutengeneza Nganya. Kutengeneza Nganya si tunataka pana, tunataka kutengeneza si because unajua hizi kama yako ya bank at least because sitaki kusema sana Nganya zimeka ngapi pesa ngapi na dei, but zimeka just a good amount of money and unajua iko worth investment.
So wako unaona Nganya inaleta returns nzuri kushinda other PSE circles?
Yes. Kuna watu wengi wameingia sana kwa Nganya is because kwangu mimi najua niko more satisfied na kuinvest kwa Nganya more than kuinvest kwa gari nyingine yoyote.
Simama hapa. Simama hapa. Hapo hapo. Kadia huko.
Kila vile kwa represent when I talk about the news, naongelea madereva wetu, naongelea watu wa kaosh, kila mtu mwenye ako kwa matatu industry all the way kutoka gari anza kutengenezwa at the moment you guys get to order. Sisi ndio operation will affect a way that if you do a spot check, ukienda utembee kwa major routes, kama mimi naishi Rongani, ukienda uangalia hapo kando unapata vijana wamekaa. Hii gari kabisha dereva, kabisha hao watu wa stage. Matatu inakuwa matatu moja imeandika more like 10 people. So hii kitu yenye tukipiga vita tumemaliza. Namba 2, angalia the uniqueness of the Matatu industry, the younger cultures. Angalia how tourists they normally come to the country. Huwezi expect tourists watatoka huko wakuja pande what is normal. Watu sema normal is boring. That's why they find it like a tourist attraction. Wazungu watatoka kuja waseme we need this bus kwa sababu of the uniqueness and everything that the bus contains. So unaona tukipiga vita pia tunapiga vita what kitu yenye tumetusimamia sisi kama Kenya as a whole, si hata Nairobi, Kenya as a whole. Vijana wetu wanaumia, wengi wamekaa kwa mawe, tutawasaidia. So if there is a way that tunashukuru leo tumefanikiwa, kesho utashangaa hata hakuna kitu mbaya itafanyika. Ni vile tu tumewekewa spotlight sana, ile ni hata when something normal ikifanyika but sisi watu wa Matanga tumesaidia sana. Angalia when it comes to angalia si wenda charity, si support local football tournaments. Angalia mtu akiwa na msiba, si mchanga tunapatiana gari for free. Hizo ndio vitu zenye hafai focus. Si kuangalia vitu zenye tunasema watu wanaharibu ama kitu kinafanyika. Tunashukuru sana. So kama kuna swali, okay? Yes. Sasa unajua hapo mimi siwezi kuendelea. Chama na mkuu hapa.
I'm here basically to talk about the Matatu culture. One thing for sure, Matatu culture is a key to what we need to find. For our young girls, our young men, so if you can put it like a Matatu culture no longer be there, utakuwa na a lot of okay, utakuwa na for our people, and most of us will suffer when it comes to that because we have Matatu as our system. And I'd like to say Matatu culture is also, come on, my friend has said here, it is a source of tourist attraction. But other people come from other countries to just come and see how our culture is beautiful, to just enjoy our Matatu, to just enjoy our rides, to just feel the vibe of how our Matatus are. Yes, we understand kuna mahali penye, okay, once in a while you want to miss the point, but we identify on that. Given a chance, we identify on that.
Majina naitwa Ibrahim. Mimi represent Biria. So to me, I feel affected sana. Because one, which is Manyanga kasi inakuwa Swift, bila kazi on time. Unaona? So that's why mimi nachoose I like to choose it. So the other day nashangaa kuna gari yenye traffic anasimamisha gari bila kuconsider abiria anatoa kila mtu na anatuacha huko hivi. From there tunaenda another way ya kufika town. Na already nilikuwa very comfortable hapo ndani nikijua nishalipa pia. Unaona? So what if I was a person working on a budget? Nasema mimi niko na hizo nifike sawa. Sige shughuli hiyo nyingine nitarudi nayo. So unajua hiyo sio nimelipa siwezi kurudishiwa. Unaona? So mimi naona if kuna option kama mtu anataka kununua but to mimi utatumia manyanga na ulo. So I feel tuko very affected na mzee tunashukuru kwa now that we're coming back inakuwa very good.
I need to answer about the sons. I think as an investor is in a Sacco. And you see, apparently you can't limit any Kenyan from doing business. We might have had disagreement before. And as per the last, when the vehicle was impounded, that vehicle was compliant in terms of inspection and RSL. That vehicle operates in a Sacco. So we should not actually victimize George as an investor. His dad is a president, yes, but you see him is a young man. Personally, we had differences when we started, but I understood he's a young man who was passionate in the industry. And we can't fight that kind of a person. It's important we get politics out of business. If George is willing to do business and the transport sector, we welcome him. Matatu accommodates everyone. Actually, if there is any business, a community in Kenya that doesn't have a tribe or a class, is the Matatu industry. So we should not pick a negative and run with it every minute. I think George has carries of his vehicle, the people working. It's like another investor, like myself. So my vehicle, the people is feeding, that vehicle is feeding as well. If there's a wrong, that's what we need to correct, a wrong, not to condemn. Because apparently in the sector and the law enforcers, they have always blanketly condemned our business. And that's what. He's an investor, the vehicle, apparently you need to understand the business, the matter is how it works. If you buy a vehicle, you see their vehicles branded, NTSA Sacco, Embasava, Super Metro. That is a company that is licensed to operate public transport. If you buy a vehicle, you subscribe to one Sacco. If you decide you want to have a vehicle in NCA, you come to NCA offices, then we give you our conditions. Then you bring the vehicle, we give it an RSL. RSL is a road service license for you to operate the routes that we have been allocated by NTSA. So apparently, that's what he has done. He has brought his vehicle, his name is Sacco. And as a Sacco, that is going to operate. NTSA Sacco.
NTSA Sacco. So you're saying it's also part of this case?
No. Actually, I think we don't need now to personalize things. We are here as an industry. We are as an industry, and what we are asking is fairness. We don't need to be blanketly condemned. We need to be given some justice. That's what we want. Forget about
talking of addressing concerns and not condemning them. One of the major concerns of the people of Kenya mostly is in the Nganya culture is the speed rush mostly. How do you intend as a Sacco to address that?
I think you people for the state, I think you are not conversant with how Nairobi works. You can't overspeed in Nairobi. The traffic alone, gives you can't do it. You can't do unless you're using expressway. And actually our vehicles are treated by speed governor. They do 80. So I think one of the mistakes that we're doing, we try to microscope a small matter and we magnify it so that we condemn a culture that has been all.
In the previous events, but now what happened?
We are
graffiti about 2 years ago, Mr. President, the former president, alisema kwamba graffiti kiangalia hizo makundi ya
sasa I think ile imekuwa ni tumekuwa na hiyo the government that comes or people in authority, wherever they come, they want to have policies that suit, not regarding the business. one thing I can say, graffiti is a culture that has been there. Actually, there's a presidential declaration which has not been annulled, which is always there. So I think the NTSA, they are doing a kind of an illegality. I'm not a lawyer, I think a lawyer can explain that. They're doing an illegality because the presidential declaration of graffiti is still there. And there's no law that has come to state otherwise. So I think we need to be fair. And again, the government should be very keen on the Kenyans who are going an extra mile to create employment. Because apparently, if you see Anganya, we pay a person who does music, we pay somebody who does design, the graffiti guy. So before this vehicle is on the road, I think around 3-4 industries benefit from the sector. And this is not something that a government should look down upon. We should be fair and allow Kenya to create employment, because we don't need to send our children into Gulf to go feed dogs. And when we can be able to create employment here, allow them to come.
Wakili pande.
Well, thank you, members of the fourth state. Now, sometime on the 21st or 22nd day of January last month, this year, we had an operation that commenced with the Kenya traffic police officers colliding or working together with the NTSA. And this operation led to the crackdown of Matatus, famously or popularly known as Nganyas. So we saw in Rongai, there was a Matatu by the name of Ambush, another one by the name of Money Heist that was impounded due to a complaint that was made that there were some touts that were misbehaving on the road. But that is not really the point. The point is this, that today we have received a court order from my Lord Justice Bahati Mwamuye, and has ordered that the National Transport Safety Authority, the NTSA, together with the traffic police officers, that they should act within the confines of the law. It has been the habit of the NTSA and the police officers to impound motor vehicles, to behave as if they are the judges, they are the prosecutors. They impound the vehicles, they take away the number plates belonging to these motor vehicles, rendering a lot of young men, the youths of this Republic of Kenya, who rely on this industry, rendering them poor and destitute. To an extent that we have had even an increase in crime, because we have young men who are not involved in any gainful activity, largely because the NTSA and the police officers in charge of the traffic have arrested, impounded, without any justification, lawful justification for that matter. So for that reason, we have had my Lord speak some sense to these people who are in these public offices and told them that they should forthwith release these motor vehicles that have been impounded without any court order or without any lawful justification. Secondly, because it has also been their habit of removing the number plates from these motor vehicles so that these motor vehicles cannot operate on the roads, they have been ordered to forthwith return the number plates belonging to these motor vehicles. It is our hope that they are going to respect the court order that has been issued by the courts, so that we remind ourselves that we are living in a constitutional democracy. We have the rule of law. We cannot have police officers or the members of the National Transport and Safety Authority behaving as if we are a lawless country, that we are a banana republic, so that they can make the law for themselves, implement it as they so wish or desire. If any of these young men, any of these Matatu operators or owners have committed any unlawful act, we have courts of law. They need to be arraigned, we need to take charge and utilize the lawful procedures that are there. But for them to act in the manner that they have acted is unconstitutional, is unlawful, and has been stopped by the courts of law. Lastly, it is important that we mention that this industry has led to the employment of so many young men,
young women, and even elderly members of the society. It takes quite a lot to prepare that matatu to be the nganya that you see on the road. There are people who sell TVs. They are employed in Luthuli Avenue. They are employed by these people. There are people who participate in the artistic works so that you can see the ambush motor vehicle, you can see the money heist, you can see all these motor vehicles in this fashionable sense that they portray themselves in. So we should not run away from the reality that we are living in a country where we have many opportunities of employment. And if this industry has provided these opportunities of employment, it is important that we support them by impounding their vehicles. Taking away the number plates is not empowering. It's impoverishing people and creating a bedrock of violence and lawlessness in this country. Thank you very much. That has been my time. I'll take the floor for my senior. Thank you.
Well, as everybody is aware, one issue contesting that is very clear in Nairobi is that these are my voters. They approached me to defend against what is blatantly illegal. The police and the NTSA founded these vehicles since around November. Those vehicles are lying idle. Some at the police stations, some of these vehicles are at home because you can't be on the Kenyan road minus number. Some of my members here were arraigned before this Millimani traffic court, and they were fine. There is no lawful order from any court of law in this country to impound and detain these number plates. We have gone to court because these people, as you can see, cannot afford to pay us. We have taken this matter purely on a pro bono basis. Why? There is a provision in the Constitution that talks about consumer rights. The consumers are the passengers. They have a right to choose which type of vehicle they will use. Government cannot force anybody to board a vehicle that they don't want to board. Kenyans have chosen their vehicles. They are in the hospitality industry. There are 5-star hotels. There are 4-star hotels. There is a kiosk. Everybody, even roadside, consumers of food will choose which ones to eat and where to eat. My clients are very clear that they are provided a certain form of a vehicle where you get the services you are paying for. And based on that, we have gone to court and invoked the right for consumers to choose. 2, we have invoked the right for citizens to have the best facilities in form of transport. 3rd, we have invoked in court the question of participation. All these people have leaders. They have their senators, they have their governors who are elected, they have their organizational structure called Saccos. None has been called to a round table conference. Based on that, I'm putting the leadership of Nairobi, from the county governor, to the county senator, to the county women rep, to the over 19 members of parliament, that this is an issue that every leader in Nairobi should address. If a preview, Shadrach might not be knowing, I bought the first Matatu in 1994. I drove Matatus. I paid my school fees for law by the Matatu industry. My Matatus are operating between KU, Githurai, and Nairobi, stage 45. I know the pain these people are facing. As a former Matatu investor and as a former Matatu driver, I can associate with them. Two, the numbers of people who are feeding from these Matatus is colossal. We cannot be telling our youth to go to clean toilets in Dubai instead of them being makangas in Kenya here. Where is the priority of government? We cannot be telling the people employed in this industry to move out of the industry to go elsewhere. They have a right to make a living. They have a right to do business in this country, and they must compete with other competitors. That is very, very, very clear. Of great concern is the type of arbitrary decisions that we have seen from the NTSA. These people, for the benefit of the citizens, one nganya to buy it, to get the licenses, to put the infrastructure of music and the graffiti, one nganya is an equivalent of over 30 million shillings. 30 million shillings, you will get that out. 30 million shillings as capital seed. The bank has provided over 25 million shillings. These people every month must remit probably over 500,000 shillings or 1 million shillings to the bank. When you detain a vehicle and they must pay the loan, who is going to pay that losses? I have further instructions after this to seek for compensation, which will be filing tomorrow. These people have lost per day an equivalent of 20,000 shillings per day times the 2 free months they have not been in business. And we shall not be suing the Kenyan government. We shall be suing the Director General of NTSA in person. We shall be pursuing the police officers in person, those who have detained these vehicles. It is not government policy anywhere. There is no law. If there is a law, then it is government policy. So we are going to seek compensation of all these members to the tune of almost 5 billion Kenya shillings. That is the loss these customers of ours, these clients of ours have lost. And the people must be surcharged. The government will not pay a coin for officers who are rogue, who have decided to take law into their own hands. Vile nilivyosema, hawa wamepoteza zaidi ya bilioni 5 tangu hizo magari ziweze kushikwa bila idhini ya koti. Tumeweza kupata amri ya koti, hizo gari ziachiliwe. Kesho saa 2:30 asubuhi, mimi na mawakili wangu tutachukua hawa kwenda NTSA kuchukua number plate zote Tumeserve Inspector General Police, tumeserve NTSA, sheria watakuja kutini kuverify kama hiyo order ni genuine ama ni fake. Kwa hivyo ilani ni kwamba kesho wale ambao wote magari zao zimenyang'anywa license, tutaenda nao pamoja kuchukua hizo number plate na waweze kurudi, kisha tutashtaki kutafuta hiyo hasara ambayo hawa wameweza kupoteza. That is all from the lawyers of the organizations, and we are saying that tumerudia an attempt to cripple the Matatu industry. My law firm shall represent all the Matatu people and all the boda for free in Nairobi. That is the guarantee that any government officer wanting to misbehave, these people have their law firm that will represent them for free so that law and order is maintained. Thank you. Unless any other question. Swali? Aye. Simame nyuma.